Hello, everyone. Welcome back to D&H TV. I am Chris Phillips. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We have a packed house of people here today to talk to you about how to maximize your ProAV offering with D&H. To kind of start us off, I'm going to introduce who we got on the call. To start, we've got John Flynn. He's our Senior Cloud Vendor Manager. John, how's it going?
Good, Chris. How's it going, bud?
It's doing pretty good. My virtual window behind me is actually matching what's happening outside, so we're good, other than
Nice.
it's snowing a lot. But that's what you get in Central PA in the middle of December. We have Sam Coyle here as well. Sam is a Senior Solutions Architect with D&H. Sam, how's it going?
It's good. Glad to be here.
Nice. And I believe we also have Matt Arnold on the line. He's our professional service consultant with D&H. Matt, how's it going?
It's going great, guys. Thanks for having me on the call.
All right, sounds good. So we will be with you guys for about the next hour. I want to kind of go through some things before we kind of get started. This is a live conversation. We're going to be talking about ProAV. If you have any questions or comments throughout this broadcast, do not hesitate to ask them in the window that I just highlighted for you guys. We will be here to basically answer your questions or just give you any information you need about D&H's ProAV and collaboration offerings here. We also have a resource available for you in our resource window. It's got some of our ProAV SKUs. If you want to look at it during the broadcast or after, it's available for you. We will also be asking poll questions throughout this broadcast to kind of get some more of your feedback and allow you to interject yourself a little bit further into this this discussion. So when you see those come up, please feel free to answer them and engage with us as you can. But because we got a lot of new faces here, I wanted to kind of give all of you guys a chance to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with D&H. I was going to start with Kirsten, but she's not here today. So we'll start with John.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And thank everyone for attending today. So as Chris said, I'm John Flynn. I'm the Senior VBM here for really collaboration, all of collaboration. I started in this role about 3 months ago, but I've been with D&H. It'll be 4 years in May. I was on our cloud team, managing all of our UC software vendors. And what we're trying to do today as an organization is really, kind of change the way we go to market. So they asked me to start managing, our ProAV hardware. So from, Logitech to Yealink, Jabra, Aver, and try and bring everything together, right? We'd like to rather than just selling, SKUs today that we do, we really want to sell the solution. So, with my experience in software, I've been doing it for about 20 years. I used to sell hardware 25 years ago. So yeah, it's really my job to help evolve our company, evolve our teams into selling differently, and hopefully, kind of transcend that to our resellers who want to sell more, but maybe don't have, the right team in place today to maybe go install, a solution. And we have solutions for that now. We've built them out. Sam's going to talk about that in a little bit. And that's really my background here right now, Chris.
Awesome. We will then throw it over to Sam. Sam, tell us a little bit about what you're doing here with D&H and how long you've been with us.
Yeah, so my tenure at D&H is pretty short. I've only been here for about 6 months. Prior to that, I owned and ran my own managed service provider. So my role here at D&H is to apply that services solution wrapper around the hardware. At some point, someone's doing the assessments for the hardware being installed, somebody's doing the installation, somebody's maintaining it, and that isn't always our resellers, it isn't always our partners. So this allows them to being able to have more access to services and resources that they may not have, whether it's geographic limitation, a technical limitation, so that they can be more effective as they're selling the hardware and selling the solutions as an entire package rather than just a box.
Awesome. Matt, tell us a little bit about what you do here at D&H and how long you've been here.
Yeah, Chris, thank you. So my name is Matt Arnold again. I'm the Pro Services National Partner Manager here at D&H. I've been in that role for approximately 6 months. Prior to that, as Chris alluded, I was a consultant with D&H, helping them build out their as-a-service practices and taking those to market within our partner group and base. And now I'm working in that role in conjunction with our pro services team to make sure that all of our partners are supported in the capacity by which they need supported, right? So we have additional offerings that we've rolled out in our DC and White Glove Center that we're excited to share, and certainly can look at this as a service model as a new and interesting way to, well, not new, but interesting way to consume technology for your end users.
Awesome. I'll also message, we are also relay that we have Isaiah on the line. Isaiah just joined D&H about 5 months ago. He's a part of our sales engineer team. He works alongside Jason Friggedy, who couldn't be here today. He's at a Mr. Congeniality contest, which we're sure he's going to win. But Isaiah works with Jason to help kind of our resellers build out their ProAV solutions, whether it be unified communication solutions for huddle spaces and conference rooms, or if you're looking for video walls, digital signage solutions, what have you. Those teams work in tandem with a lot of the work that John and Sam and Matt are doing in terms of matching the hardware with the software. So that kind of helps round out that group a little bit. Is there anyone else that we want to mention that's new to the team? Like, so we got a couple of people that have been here for 5-6 months. Is there anyone else that kind of comes to mind, John?
I don't think so, Nicole. I think we're complete.
All right. So now that we've all kind of talked a little bit about what we're doing and kind of the ways we're starting to expand this team, let's talk about a little bit more about the vendor side of things, because without continued new vendor support, there's not a lot we can do to continue to expand what we're doing. So John, tell us about some of the new vendors that we've added to our ProAV and Collab side to kind of start to expand what we're able to do to help our resellers.
Yeah, sure. And I consider a new vendor, someone less than a year, right? So
Yeah.
When I was in the cloud side managing all the UC business, due to COVID, I saw a gap in our line card. We didn't have SIP phones, right? But we were selling a ton of Ring Central. We were doing Avaya. We were selling 8x8, Vonage. But all we were selling was really the software, right? Which is great. Their recurring revenue is outstanding. But people also needed a phone. A lot of people are traditionalists, right? They want to have that handset, on their desk, whether they're at home or in the office. So I brought on Yealink about a year ago. Yealink does have an expanded portfolio beyond SIP phones, but they are the number one SIP phone provider in the world. I believe they have about 60% of the market. So it was a big vendor for us to bring on. As well, you also need to have headsets, right? So our line card, again, we had a small gap. Jobber is probably, that's where they're most well known for, is headsets. So signed Jobber about a year ago. It's going really, really well. We have a funded head dedicated to Jobber here at D&H who, she's really here for all of our resellers to use as a resource, kind of that bridge between Jobber and yourself. And then there's another, I didn't bring on this other vendor, but they started in February, Neat. And Neat really, started out gangbusters. We've already done about 20 million this year with Neat. And for a first year vendor, to get off the ground and do, 3 million or 4 million or something,
Yeah.
but 20 million in the first year, it's, at least from where I come on the cloud side, that's unheard of unless you're Microsoft. So just 3 fantastic new vendors on our line card. And all of them, well, Yealink's, we have our job rec open today, actually open today for a funded head. So come January 1, we'll have one in place for Yealink, and we already have one in place for Neat.
Excellent. And then I want to kind of shift focus to kind of the third part of this, and I think either Sam or Matt will probably be able to better answer this one, is our pro service offering. We've got the software, we've got the hardware, we've got the back end support here at D&H to kind of support the business, but pro services is really kind of that thing that brings it all together and gets it moving at your customer sites. So does John, Matt, John, Matt, Sam, do either one of you want to talk about what our new offerings on the pro service sides are?
I can probably take it if you want.
Absolutely, would love to.
The pro services were really designed. We found that there was a gap specifically in some of the products that we're selling. Either our partners or resellers not understanding necessarily how to install them or how to configure them or how to get them operational to really leverage them as much as possible, and try and shift away from that traditional distributor model where it's simply placing orders of I need 2 of this box and 5 of this box, and us hoping that you know what you're doing. This gives us an opportunity to really provide more of a consultative approach and make sure that the person that's actually installing it knows what they're doing, has whatever necessary certifications, has experience. This isn't their first time installing that piece of hardware or that software, so that that installation is as successful as possible. Sometimes this is not necessarily a gap in technology experience with a particular reseller, but just a geography or capacity issue that, they've got a really great shop of 4 or 5 guys that do a really good job, and they win a large RFP with 200 displays that need to be installed in 3 weeks for a school district. Just as an example, that would be a good place where even someone that has that internal skill set might need some additional help with a team member that already knows what they're doing and isn't learning on the fly. They don't have to worry about going out and hiring somebody or posting a job on some random job board. So it gives us a wide range of skill sets and abilities to fill in some of those service gaps, so that so when the hardware is sold and it is installed, it's as operationally efficient as possible.
Nice. Matt, do you have anything to add there? Putting him on the spot.
As per usual, I think Sam covered it wonderfully. Well said. So no, I do not have anything to add.
Sam, you'll get Matt's paycheck at the end of the day. Don't worry.
So I'll take
forward it to you.
Can I have Matt's spot there and kind of?
Okay, sure. No, sure, absolutely.
I appreciate it. So, I think Sam's piece is really important, right? It's differentiating ourselves from our competition, but it also differentiates a lot of we'll call them our VARs, right? Traditional VARs who are selling gear, who show up, to their favorite customer, and the customer says, hey, you know what? I want to outfit 4 of my conference rooms. Can you help me? Sure. I'm a Logi distributor, and I can go out there and I can get you all the Logi bars that you need. And the end user says, well, what about display? What about installation? What about, after the sale, who's going to take care of it for me? And, the guy just says, or the gal, I don't do that, right? So the end user has to go out and solicit, other bids, which opens that opportunity up to competition, right? So now with Sam at the helm here with the professional services side, our resellers show up differently, right? They just don't show up with a quote. They show up with a solution. Yeah. I remember I used to work for an interconnect. I live in Buffalo, New York, and I sold phone systems, right? So I would show up when I first started with just a quote, right? And they go either to the the vendor that they knew. Back then it was always Nortel, but it always came down to price. So what I started doing, I started bringing out my data cabling guy, and I brought out my carrier services guy, right? So not only did I have a phone quote, I had a T1 for the long distance, I had a copper line or copper lines for the local, and then I was able to do, all the Cat 5 and Cat 3 cabling for the data and voice. So I showed up different than all my competition, because a lot of my competition in this area only could do one thing. I could do it all, soup to nuts. So that's what we're trying to do for our resellers here at D&H, is help them show up differently. So when the end user sees their solution and not a quote, really there's nowhere for them to go but with our resellers.
Yeah, there was a question that I saw that someone was asking if they wanted to train and enable, they wanted training and enablement for my sales engineer teams. Can D&H provide that? Is that something also that we're able to assist with? Yeah,
so that's part of our ProAV program for 2023. Okay. We've already started doing that. We've actually had a number. I don't know if we have anyone from. Well, Chris, you're on the the IT side. Yep. Engineers. We've already had resellers come in and get trained and enabled in our new experience room, which is it's state of the art. It's unbelievable what you guys have built. But we're going to do more of that next year. We're actually going to do. Have resellers coming in with vendors, and just do like an all-day or a 2-day training and enablement. So. And we're also going to do a couple of road shows. So I'm going to have a couple of my vendors sponsor 5 to 6 road shows throughout the year, where we're going to go to select cities where we have a a nucleus of partners in the area to really, maximize the opportunity. But we're going to do more and more as we move on in the future here.
Yeah, and I could speak a little bit towards a lot of what we're doing on the experience side within our Harrisburg campus. As you said, we've set up a couple of different ProAV and collaboration experiences, the biggest of which, both literally and figuratively, is our new conferencing experience within the Solutions Lab. We have a 6x2, 104-foot, 140-foot, Isaiah will give me the exact dimensions, length video wall that is not only for just displaying presentations, but it's also a hybrid learning experience where there's cameras in the front and the back of the room. There's the room's completely mic'd. It allows people that are in a remote environment to kind of go into, be part of the Solutions Lab and feel like they're there. We've done a couple of kind of test events as we were kind of starting to roll that thing out come January 1st. And the feedback has been tremendous. And those are the kind of experience we would like to start to share with our resellers to kind of give them ideas of what they can do to kind of bring those experiences to their customers. Because I think if you can, being told about is one thing, but being able to come and see it firsthand is another thing. When you see it firsthand, you go, okay, all you really need is, these components, and D&H can help us not only get all the components, but get the services in place to put those components in place and have them work for our customers is kind of the aha moment that we're looking to make for a lot of people.
Yeah,
All right.
impressive.
Yep. So we do have a couple questions coming in. I've got one more that I wanted to kind of to pass to you guys, but we also had a poll question that we pushed out. I want to kind of push out the results and kind of get your guys' feedback. We asked everyone that was watching what ProAV collaboration technologies are they already selling. Most of the people on the call, 81%, are selling video conferencing solutions of one way, shape, or form. Obviously, with remote work being what it is, all four of us that are on this call, we're all in 4 different areas, but we need to come together and have a coherent conference. Video conferencing solutions is the key to behind that. So it's not a surprise that a lot of people are selling that. Voice over IP phone systems, again, same reason. We're all now kind of spread out a little bit more. The days are kind of over where you can just go into an office building and set up the VoIP system in the office and then all right, I'm done. Well, how do you access that system when someone's working remotely? Like how does that? It's a completely different beast. John, I know you kind of spoke about Yealink. Can you talk about some of the offerings we have in that the voice over IP phone system world?
Well, so that's the hardware piece, right? So, they have a multitude of phones. They probably have, I don't know, 20 different flavors of phones, right? And that's really the hardware. It's really the service provider that's behind that, right? They really drive
exactly.
the VoIP, right? So in my experience, again, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a big fan of Ring Central just because of the resources that they have available to not only to D&H, right, but to the resellers. They have a channel manager in 56 cities across the United States. I'm not even sure Cisco has that many. So, I mean, they've really dedicated themselves to the channel, and they're the most channel friendly of all of them that I've ever worked with. There's a couple I haven't worked with, but I've heard really good things about, I think it's 3CX, really good things about them. They're just not in my channel right today. 888 is 8x8 is very good. I think Nextiva is kind of that small to medium-sized player, but I wouldn't sell them in the large or the enterprise space. But really, Ring hits from small to enterprise, and they do it every day, all day, and they've been doing it the longest. They have the most seats. But at the end of that, you do need to have a phone, right? And the Yealink phone is probably the easiest one to program and manage. Yealink gives you a management portal to manage all your phones. The first 1,000 are free. It's pretty inexpensive after that. So you can kind of, if you're an MSP, you can diagnose, issues that the customer might be having. Is it internal on the WAN? Is it external or internal on the LAN or external on the WAN? It really helps you out diagnosing things pretty quick.
Nice. Isaiah did correct me. The video wall within the Solutions Lab is 12 feet long, 12K image. It's nice, and we can't wait to kind of start to show you guys that stuff coming beginning of Q1 as we kind of roll into 2023. So keep your eye on D&H.com. We'll have a whole case study and media around that. There was another question that came through, John, and I don't know, John, Matt, Sam, either one of you want to answer it. Is it possible to order Teams room licensing without ordering the hardware? You talked about the licensing for like a hardware phone system. What about the team licenses?
Yeah, so I think a lot of our resellers today, maybe they're doing it, unbeknownst to us, but they order the hardware, but they never think about the software piece. Again, or if they do, they're not including us. But so we do have a cloud marketplace where you can order, provision, and invoice instantly. The tenant's instant. The solution that we'd like to provide is we actually install the tenant before it even goes out into the field. So, when our installer leaves, it's just plug and play. That's ideal, right? Again, Zoom or Teams. But yeah, those are our two biggest software vendors for, and actually most of our vendors now, it's either a Teams device or it's a Zoom device, and they seem to forget about WebEx and Blue Jeans, and then there's hundreds of conferencing solutions that are out there, and we do have solutions that can overcome that. If you buy a Teams solution, we work with a vendor called AirTame, kind of bridges that gap, right? So you call BYOD devices. So if you want to run Blue Jeans, go ahead. It's seamless into the environment. And again, I think when our installers leave, or when Sam comes up with the bombs for this stuff, they're going to know that they should probably include this, because I don't think end users, they don't know what they don't know, right? So they think they're getting a complete video solution, and somebody wants to use WebEx, and they're kind of stuck. They got to go with it. So again, that's why we want to bring the whole solutions to our resellers. So
we that includes, like you said, if they've already bought the hardware, they can still not necessarily have to switch out their hardware. They can come to us, and we can kind of help offer solutions based on the hardware they have for Teams, Room, Zooms, WebEx, things of that nature.
Yeah, if they're not on our marketplace today, one of our cloud specialists can walk them through, the onboarding piece. And they can actually build them, their own marketplace, right? Because we have hundreds and hundreds of SKUs on there. And we could just pare it down to, their own particular marketplace that they want to sell. That makes it a little bit easier when you want to go in and find a particular SKU. So we can also do it on their behalf. They give us the domain for their end user. We can do a form, or they'll become proficient pretty quick and they can do it themselves.
One for Sam or Matt, for large room deployments, can D&H help our company with assessment and planning?
I can take it unless Matt wants this one.
Matt, do you want your paycheck?
Sam's already got it. He might as well earn the rest of it for the day. So
Yeah, exactly.
No, we have good answers. I know we
pigeonholed Matt into not talking now.
It's all good. Sam, take it away. I know we have a good solution built around this, and the way we're going to market, you can articulate. So please, have at it.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning, someone's going to do these assessments, right? Somebody's going to come in and they're going to map out the room, and they're going to find out where the power and the Ethernet drops are, and they're going to figure out what the distance is between the speakers and the tables and the video clarity, and someone else is doing that. So if it's not something that you have currently, then that is a solution that we have available to help do those designs, to kind of go on site, figure out what needs to be installed, what resources are available, what hardware is going to be compatible with that type of room, and any other requirements that might be there. Like I said, this is a whole solution discussion, so there's much more consultation around it, not just, yep, that wall will hold a display, but yeah, this is the size you could use, this is the clarity you need, maybe this product is better than this product in this particular installation, and by the way, let's make sure there's power run, let's make sure there's cable run. You need a USB-C cable running from the display back to the controller, all those other pieces and parts that without experience, you may not have necessarily thought of. So that assessment service that we have builds that entire plan And then at that point, you can decide to do it yourself, and you have the information to do it, or you can use us again for doing the implementation to follow that plan as well. So we really kind of fill in those gaps depending on what your skill set and availability is to make sure that you guys are as successful as possible.
Cool. Ronnie did ask, let me find this question again. So do you have WebEx solutions? And I think that the answer to that question is absolutely yes.
We do. Yeah, actually, that's on our cloud marketplace as well.
So WebEx, Teams, Zoom, got it all.
Zoom is not. Zoom is not yet.
Zoom is not.
Zoom is yeah. So Zoom is a more of a manual type.
Yes, correct. You're correct. So now that we kind of got a sense of where we're sitting here today, I want to kind of look forward into 2023 and beyond. Any one of you can start kind of with this one, but I'm looking for, what are you guys seeing as key trends as we kind of move forward in the ProAV and collaboration space that our resellers can start taking advantage of?
So, I mean, the trends that I see, I mean, technology is always changing, right? You buy something today, I'll take it tomorrow. What I see, though, is the way, and consumers are going to consume products, right? Today, they either use their credit line or they pay cash. And right now, cash is kind of king. The economy is facing some headwinds today. But I do believe the DaaS or the X as a service is going to catch fire pretty soon. And it does a couple of things.
I think it already is.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think a lot of resellers have taken advantage of it. I mean, we actually have an X as a service portal, and you can go in there and just whatever you want to buy off of D&H.com, you can put it in there and then figure out you either buy it or you could, basically it's a lease, right? And there's huge advantages for a reseller. I think about, like, I own a car and I also lease a car. So my lease is a GM. So GM knows, and they've already started soliciting me for my next one because it's up in May. They know that I have to buy in May, right? They know they're going to get, turnover, and they're going to get repeat business, hopefully, if they take care of their customer. The Jeep that I own, though, Dodge has no idea when I'm going to turn it in or when I'm going to buy the next one. So, DaaS is I think for resellers, it's a great way to go to market, because again, you can kind of project, your next, when you're going to, turn that business over. And you start 6 months out, you start telling them about the new technologies, and you kind of grease the slicks there for your customers.
Yeah, it's a different way of doing business, like you said, where you're looking forward rather than acting in the present. You can kind of go, okay, hey, 6 months from now, the latest Intel notebooks are going to be out. They got the latest 13 gen processors, and you can start to talk about, greasing the wheels about the new technology, get them excited. So when it comes time for, like you said, in May, for that service to be up, they're excited for what's next.
Right.
It's a different way of selling, but I think it's something that a lot of people should be taking more advantage of. Sam, Matt, any thoughts on looking forward and trends that we should kind of keep our eyes out for?
Yeah, I can jump in. Just good timing on top of what John had said. I'll attempt to earn some of my paycheck back, but not just in the ProAV world, but across all of our solutions here at D&H, both endpoint devices, ProAV, UC, server technology. All of these technologies are being consumed and looked at in different ways these days. And if we need to get our end users and as a distributor, our partners, the ability to set themselves apart to accelerate a cash flow, which we do in our X as a service program, be able to add their own services, couple those with D&H services, and give their end user a way that they might not ordinarily be able to or feel comfortable with the capital expense right now of making that big investment or that purchase. In the program, we have extended timelines for technology such as ProAV that may not want to come down and out every 3 or 4 years, maybe like a notebook. But, if you want to get a log into the marketplace, if you'd like to see more in conjunction with the solution that John, Sam, Chris, and I are showing you today, feel free to reach out and I'll get someone on our team to get you a login to walk you through the portal. And then we can make sure that it fits you the best.
Hey, Matt, can you talk real quick? Because I get this question a lot from resellers, because really you're building a recurring revenue model, right?
Yeah.
How and when do our resellers get paid? Do they get paid monthly? I mean, how does all that work?
Yeah, so I can answer that in two parts. Really, a business evaluation is the first thing that comes to mind. Building a recurring revenue stream obviously is going to affect the valuation of your business, one. And two, um, our partners, we accelerate the cash flow in this model to the best of our ability. And so far, we've been very successful in paying partners 100% of the proceeds upfront for whatever margin they build into the solution. That includes, labor services, installation services, any of our pre-deployment services, and ongoing maintenance and support. You can roll all those things together and actually see some increased profit margins in doing so by combining parts or equipment and services. But we try to facilitate 100% of cash flow at the close. So once all documentation is inked and signed, and we've got everything delivered on site at the end user, customer says everything's working like it should, and the billing begins, then we work with the partner to get them paid. And in the model, there are two models. One is that I just described, where we're billing the end user and removing the partner from any of the risk associated with doing so, and then giving them that cash flow advance for the term upfront. And then we've also funded or financed the vendor or our partners, right, that want to then add all of the additional billing that they may do for a partner on an end user on a monthly basis, and then bill that themselves, knowing that they're on the hook for that payment and collection process. So we try to not have a one-size-fits-all model, but a tweakable, successful starting point that we launched a few years ago and feel comfortable today that we can deliver on this platform in the ProAV world.
I think I know the answer. I think I know the answer to this one, but I think it's something that also bears repeating. When you talk about services, you're not only talking about services that D&H can help provide through the cloud marketplace, but you're also talking about services. They can add services that they will be providing to that, correct?
Yeah, and that's been a program change. It wasn't always that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the success has afforded us the ability to be able to have our partners add on maybe services that they're doing. Maybe they're servicing a printer in the corner and they get $100 a month for that, and they just want to add that into an agreement and collect that advance payment and make sure that all T's are crossed and I's dotted as far as statements of works are concerned. Just making sure that we have a full understanding of what services are being provided and in what time frame they're being provided. And then our finance companies have had, I'll say, zero issue. I can't remember a partner not getting 100% of those proceeds at the close of a deal. But
Awesome.
I look out my window and see snowflakes. Every deal is the same. I don't want to beat this into the ground, but every partner has a different set of end users and requirements, and we try to be open to solutioning on their behalf as much as we can, inside and outside the X as a Service program.
Everyone is a unique snowflake.
That is true.
There was one thing that I was kind of looking forward to as we kind of move forward to 2023 and beyond. I really enjoy quoting and the building out of video wall solutions. And in terms of new technology, I've had a heavy focus on the DB LED video walls. We actually put out a poll question of where kind of people are falling onto those DB LED walls. 17% are already selling them. 41%, and this is where I kind of expected it to, they're very interested in them, but the cost on them are very high. Kind of 35% are still interested in them, and there's 5 or 6% of people that are still learning, still want to learn about what a DV LED wall is. That is technology that I feel scales amazing. Looks great, but right now the cost is too high, and that's true for any new technology. The cost is going to be high. So I would say for those of you that kind of sit in the 35%, you're interested, but you want to wait and see, kind of keep close to D&H, because as that technology progresses and we can build it into more solutions, we're going to find new ways to get it out to you guys so you can get it to your resellers who need solutions that are like that.
Yeah, Chris, last point here on the X as a service topic
Sure.
and what you just mentioned, some less affordable technology in this as a service consumption model becomes more affordable. From the idea of moving that CapEx purchase to an ongoing monthly operational expense, a lot of times it enables our partners to provide the latest and greatest technology. So it's something to look at if you have a customer that may be struggling to find funding or trying to come up with the cash. This is an excellent model to operate in if that's the case.
And if you're trying to build out a video wall solution for one of your customers and you need help or guidance, whether you should be going with this new DV-LED or more of the traditional LCD video walls, reach out to Jason, say on our engineering team. They can help walk you through the pros and cons of each. It's more than just cost pros and cons. There are resolution and installation pros and cons. I think if you have a wall that can't support the weight of an LCD wall, it might be able to support the weight of a DV LED wall because they're significantly way significantly less. So there's a lot to consider. Just kind of keep us in mind, and we're more than happy to help out. Larry, yes, I was just trying to be very careful there. I don't want to be canceled. It's too close to Christmas to be canceled over a snowflake comment. So I was being very careful there. That's the last thing I want. We're kind of coming up to the end of the presentation here, guys. So if anyone on the call has any additional questions, please feel free to ask them now. Kind of as we close up, we'll touch on the holidays. I've been asking people throughout the month of December what they're hoping for Christmas. So I'll ask you guys. We'll start with you, John. What are you hoping for Christmas this year?
Well, my hope's the same every year, and usually it comes to fruition. But I always like a white Christmas myself. I'm a traditionalist, so
Yep.
I don't want to have 8 feet like we had about 4 weeks ago. But a good foot is kind of nice. I'm a big skier, and snowmobiler, so it's I can't ski in a foot of snow, but I do like a white Christmas.
The 8 feet of snow got us a humorous development. Whereas I believe you're a Bills fan, John. I'm a Lions fan, and it irks me that the Bills now have back-to-back wins in Detroit, and the Lions haven't been able to do that in 7 years. But
I think they're on a 5-game winning streak. They must have won 2 there this year.
Yeah, nope.
No.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
And maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen because last week they got it, and they got one more in Detroit later. But I found that interesting. Matt, what are your thoughts? What are you looking for the holidays?
Smiling relatives, because that meant that I did well. But other than
You did
that,
well.
I could care less.
Yes, I just want to get through a holiday dinner without being judged by a family member going, "That's your best turkey." Okay.
Nice.
Sam, what are your thoughts?
I'm probably gonna be really sappy here. I already got my Christmas wish. My daughters are home for Christmas, and so I get to hang out with them for the next couple weeks. So eventually we'll put up a tree, maybe before Christmas, maybe not. But the important things are already here, so I'm good.
The tree at our house is at least out of storage and is sitting in its box in the living room. Which just maybe after we get off this call, I'll head down to the living room and get that set up.
I think I remember which closet I put it in, and I haven't even looked for it yet. So.
Oh my goodness, 10 days. That's all. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. You guys' thoughts and information has been great. Where can people go if they're watching on demand or they have any questions after the fact? Where can they go to kind of get a hold of you guys post this broadcast?
So for me, and I can reach out to anybody, on the call today, but it's just the letter J, my last name, Flynn, FLYNN at DNH.com. And I answer all my emails every day. And again, I'm not the expert, but I know where the experts are buried here at D&H. And please utilize all of us for your success.
We don't bury our experts here.
Yeah. Well, you're an expert.
We
I
keep
would like
them
to say one thing,
frozen.
because Sam's a shy guy, and
Okay.
but what he has built, literally, he has skewed up everything from soup to nuts to do an installation. And I mean, I've worked for another disty before. I mean, people can probably tell I live in Buffalo where I used to work, but it is amazing what Sam built. And I hate to say it's cookie cutter because I think that kind of cheapens it, but it is really cookie cutter, Sam. If somebody wants to, put in a display, they need to have the pad mounted. I mean, you have all of that for them. I mean, it's really laid out great. And I would impress upon everybody, meet with Sam and let him walk you through it. It is impressive. And it's as simple as it looks. And I think everybody here today, if you're not doing the installations, don't let that go away. Take that piece of the business and certainly take care of the software as well.
Sam, if you want to take a little bit of time and talk about exactly what John's talking about there, I implore you to toot your own horn here.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm totally okay being the guy in the background and letting other people take the credit. But as John mentioned, the process we put together here was really focused on starting with the most granular tasks and skewing those together, and then combining tasks to create solutions, so that, well, yes, it may look cookie cutter, but it's cookie cutter because we've defined each of the individual tasks that could be needed, and they can pick and choose those as necessary to put together a solution that in effect becomes custom, air quotes, but we've done that because we started from kind of a foundational element of, where do I need to go? Where do I turn left? How many screws do I need? And kind of built that up from a logical model that allows us to be nimble so that we can fill in those gaps. And while it does, at the end of the day, when you look back at it, it does look kind of simple, but it took a lot of team members, a lot of time to put that together so that we had something very easy to rinse, wash, and repeat and fill in those gaps for folks.
Yeah, great job, Sam. And very impressive.
Sam, where can people get a hold of you after this broadcast?
My email address is the same, scoyl, SCOYL @dnh.com. And I also live next to my phone, so I'm checking emails and stuff all the time. I think a couple people already tried to connect with me on LinkedIn, so you can always find me there too. But happy to help with anything anybody needs.
Matt, where can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, same story. M Arnold, ARNOLD @dnh.com, or they can email if they have a question about our X as a Service program. Generally speaking, they can email X as a Service IT @dnh.com, and that goes to our entire team here. That may facilitate a quicker response, but feel free to reach out to me, and certainly appreciate the time today.
And if you guys are looking for any kind of hardware, technical solutions or questions, go ahead and email presales@dnh.com. One of our technical tech specialists will get that question in the hands of one of our sales engineers to help you answer those questions as well. But I think that's it with everyone for today. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It was a great conversation, a lot of great information. We will be doing a giveaway as part of this broadcast. If you were here live, we're giving away one of 3 $100 Amazon gift cards. Hopefully they'll get to you in time for you to get some late holiday shopping in. I don't know when the delivery is, but
It's
we'll be
not
announcing
Winmat's paycheck. That's not what we're playing. I think we sussed that one out already.
We'll be announcing those winners after the broadcast. Our next webcast is on December 30th. I'll be on demand with Mitch Flickinger. We'll be talking about why to build white box servers. That'll be fantastic. But this is also pretty much our last broadcast for 2022. So I want to thank everyone here that's been joining us throughout the year. You coming to these broadcasts are the reasons why we keep doing them for you guys. We hope you're getting great information out of them. We hope we're getting a chuckle when I make silly jokes. But we're mostly hoping you get informed and get excited to start to work with your resellers in ways that you may have not thought you were able to in the past. So thank you so much for your time. Not only today, but throughout 2022. And we look forward to seeing you in 2023. But for that, thank you, John. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. And we'll see you all later.